What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel where we get you on the grind and improve your mind. In this video, we're going to talk about the concept of free speech and does it exist anymore? How are we dealing with it? And we're going to talk a little bit about this new app called Getter and what it represents and how it could affect you. Let's get into it. We want to talk about Getter and free speech. So we're going to go over this post that was shared on Twitter. And it has to do with someone on Getter. I guess they used a word that we're not going to say, the N-word, right? And they used it, right, for something. We're not really sure the context of that. What happened was they got suspended from Getter, which is supposed to be a Twitter alternative that is supposed to represent free speech more and it's supposed to be representative of like a more better way on social media than Twitter. And Joe Rogan recently joined it. Many people have joined it recently. And it's supposed to be more inclusive. It's supposed to be more better than the other apps. And so when this person said a word that Getter did not like, they got suspended. Now, we do not promote using that word.
No.
We want to put that, obviously we do not. That's not the point of this video. It's about free speech, and it's about what is allowed to be said on the internet, what is allowed to be said in general, and, you know, what's going on with that.
Okay, so this guy, John Miller, he put up a post that said, the free speech frauds at Getter have suspended me for no reason. I didn't even use it. I had no posts. Guess I was too critical of them for suspending others. What does it say when the first platform to ban me is the one that sells itself as free speech alternative? So apparently, someone, I guess, that works at Getter is pretty much calling him a liar, that he used the platform and included the N-word in his profile. Clear violation of the terms of service. So yeah, I mean, no one reads the terms of service. Let's be real. No one, I mean no one reads terms of services on anything that we use. If the terms of service do say to not use these words in an aggressive manner, if they tell you not to use them in an aggressive manner, then, and you do that, then you violate their terms of service. But if you say it like as just a word, right, then that would be free speech.
Now, the question we ask you is, should free speech be free as hell on any platform, or should it be regulated at some point? The argument that some may make is that no, you should be able to say whatever you want, but then when you do say certain things of whatever you want, that's when you get in trouble. Now, this is it could be a simple concept, or it could be a slippery slope of a concept, because what is free speech? What articulates free speech versus not free speech? What can you really be allowed to say? Now, some could argue, even though it is a racial slur, free speech could be argued as say whatever you want, including racial slurs, including whatever you may want to say, however you want to say it. Some may argue that is free speech, and then others will argue free speech is okay until you say this. Now, is that really free speech? We're not really the ones to be the judge of that. You are in every, in your own way.
And also lawyers, because I feel like lawyers have a big thing with this, especially when you deal with social platforms like Getter or Twitter or whatever. You got to remember, Twitter and Getter probably are both based upon the United States, where we have free speech, we have the freedom of speech, and we can say whatever. But you also got to remember that there are other countries that they're also connected to that might not have free speech as well, and certain things might, especially on other countries, certain things might get blocked, or you can't see them from within those countries. But also, the lawyers of these platforms also have to be aware that the things that people will say, if they give them 100% free speech, could look bad on their platform. And they want to make sure, then that's why that they put in the terms of service, like certain things. I feel like free speech, in my opinion, now this is my opinion, I feel like free speech is you can say whatever you want, except when you are saying things in an aggressive manner, using racial slurs to people in an aggressive manner, and you're using threatening language to people in an aggressive manner. So I feel like if you say to someone, oh, I'm going to kill you, N-word, then you violate everything and you deserve it. If you say things in an aggressive way and you say things in a way where you threaten people, you make the platform look bad, then you're at fault. It's your actions that you did that. And certain things about free speech, I feel like are okay to be condensed, because we shouldn't be doing them in the first place. We shouldn't be threatening people on the internet, because why would you want to threaten people on the internet? It's pretty stupid. The thing is that with free speech, you can't just give everyone complete freedom, because especially on social platforms, we have free speech in America, where we can say whatever we want. We are literally doing that right now, where we're saying whatever we want, and we can do that out in front of the government buildings in whatever state we're in. We can say whatever we want over there. The thing is that, and they can't arrest us for saying whatever we want. But the thing is on the internet, it's pretty much a business. The internet is a business.
And it's more regulated.
So there really isn't a 100% free speech on the internet because of these reasons and because of these businesses that run platforms on the internet that we all use. And certain things are just not going to be allowed to be said. And honestly, that's okay, because a lot of those things are the things that I was talking about. A lot of it is being aggressive, being threatening people, and using words that probably shouldn't be said in an aggressive manner or threatening manner. And I feel like that's fine to remove that. But when you start talking about someone who's saying, I don't like Donald Trump, or like, I hate Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the worst president. Someone says from, let's say, Getter, says to you because you posted, I hate Joe Biden, he's the worst president, or whatever, and they suspend you, they ban you from the thing, and like you're not allowed to say that, then that's not free speech. That is 100% not free speech. But if you say, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to find you and kill you, that is against the terms of service. That is something that they can get you for, because that is just unnecessary speech. It's not even the fact of it being free speech, it's just unnecessary speech where you shouldn't be talking about that anyway.
It really depends on what kind of context you're putting. Or there's also the concept of like misinformation. Now that's a tricky one as well, because many, especially YouTube, would just delete a video it considers misinformation on a certain virus that's going on right now in the world. That's being completely still blown over proportion, but that's whatever. It's like the Joe Rogan, Robert Malone interview that YouTube won't even let any clips on that, and they'll just delete it because they classify it as misinformation, even though he's like a certified doctor or whatever. So I think that's also wrong as well. See, these platforms, they think you're dumb. They think you're going to listen to anything and everything that you consume, which, okay, some people do. Fine. But they think you're so dumb. Remember, YouTube and some other platforms think you're so dumb that you're just going to go doing whatever these people say all the time. So what they do is they remove these videos, like the Joe Rogan one with Dr. Malone and Peter McCullough. They remove them. They don't want them to have any say. And then you have all these people saying, you should not consume this. Who are you? Who is anyone to tell us what we can consume as people? Why can't we do what we want? In that aspect. Like, there are certain things I think is okay. Let us make our own mind. Let us get the facts. If anything, just all you have to do is go on a platform and say, we encourage you guys to look at the facts and do research. If you just said that, rather than censoring misinformation, it would be a lot easier. But instead, people are just censored, and free speech does not exist sometimes.
Yeah, and these platforms that do certain things like that, like even Facebook does it, Twitter does it. They put those little tabs on the posts that talk about whatever, that say, oh, this might be misinformation, go to here to, find whatever. A lot of these sites, a lot of these platforms are trying to label certain things as like either misinformation or this is completely false and stuff like that, and they won't even let you try to figure it out for yourself, where they just tell you flat out, oh yeah, this is wrong, but you wouldn't know because they're just telling you. Where you should do the research on your own, you should try to figure it out. And I feel like social medias and social platforms in general are just trying to not let us have a free thinking mind and let us do it on our own, and they just rather us consume whatever they feel is what we should be consuming. And that kind of sounds like stuff that China normally does, where the government creates the TV programs that they watch. The government creates the platforms that the Chinese are allowed to go on. And that's what happens over there. They have a complete censorship. They're not allowed to look at anything on the internet that's outside of China. They're not allowed to talk about China in a bad way. I remember that whole thing with Mario where they made fun of Winnie the Pooh, where they made fun of the Chinese guy, make him Winnie the Pooh, so they completely banned Winnie the Pooh from China. Like, it's stuff like that. Like that.
We laugh at it now, but this could be our reality very soon.
Yeah, it really could be America's reality at some point, and maybe not in the next year, but it could happen down the line. We have to be careful with these things. We're seeing these things slowly progress, and it's starting to get worse. And all we need from these platforms is to say, have an open mind, do research before making an opinion or whatever. A lot of things probably won't happen like we've seen now with people just getting banned, suspended, blocked, stuff like that. We won't just see all that. Everyone needs to do the research. Everyone needs to read upon everything that's out there about all the information that you want to talk about specifically, and have your own thoughts about the specific thing that you're talking about. Also have an open mind to all sides of the perspective, because you can't just look at one side and neglect the other. You have to understand where the two sides are coming from and find the middle ground, because that's probably where the actual truth lies.
Everything must be balanced, as all things should be.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
So guys, with that said, let us know your thoughts on this concept of free speech and where it's going today in the comments below. Help us out with the algorithm, get us on the list. We're trying to be rising stars here. So also like the video if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already, because we're always coming out with videos. We're really hustling out here, trying to provide good information, quality content. With that said, we'll see you in the next video.